Alright, well, hold your horses. I need to switch. There you go. Easy. Easy. Alright, welcome everybody back to the point drawings. It has been a long day though. Oh, well, long time no seen. And how does that happen? Alright. Well, anyway, let's get started on this. So, yeah, today we're gonna be working on the morning drawings again. And after that, I'm gonna do a big walk. Yeah, I was a little bit stressed out lately, so that explains a lot. I think will explain a lot. Yeah, probably. Anyway, let's get started on this bad boy. First things first, get the right color in. Check. Get the right pencil in. Check. Get the right amount in. Check. Is this point? Yes, it is. And we want around like here. Ah, this is the other one. Alright. We need to look for this one. Yes. Awesome. Is this one? No. Is this one? No. Then this one. Yes. Alright. So, anyway, I need to zoom in like right about here, right? Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I had a little bit of trouble, and I was really stressed out lately. So yeah, that's why I was like, you know what, taking 4 days of vacation is a good idea, and I did, and I successfully did that. So I'm happy to announce that I'm back, big time, and I can't wait for getting this thing finished. But yeah, that was the main problem I did, and well, you know, when I'm stressed, I cannot work. That's most likely the case because then I'm getting confused and I have like really painful everything, and then yeah, it is all sucky, all suckety, and we don't want that. So yeah, gonna be working on this, and then after that we are gonna be adding some stuff to it. Hopefully, you know, everything will work fine. Anyhow, so yeah, have been working a lot lately, and hopefully, you know, this week I will be able to do another, you know, I will be able to keep it up this week, and then hopefully then after that, well, you know, everything will work fine. So, since we're doing that, ugh, words, jeez Louise, come on, I can do this. Since I am doing that right now, it is I'm a little bit out of words there, but yeah, yeah, I'm back. I should be very happy about that, and I am. I'm actually hyped about it, and I can't wait. So today we're gonna be doing 2 hours of, you know, drawing again, and then, you know, after that I'm gonna do a walk, and then in the evening I will be able to do the drawing for the Mothball project again. So that's what I'm gonna be doing, and that's what I'm gonna be completing. So, the main issue that I'm dealing with this drawing is that it is sometimes complicated to go for because of the, well, you know, textures that are hard to draw. And, well, you know, because I was 4 days out of the running, I need to pick up my pace and see where it lands. So, hopefully, you know, I'll get the texture right in one go. I think I will because I'm already doing it correctly. So, hurry up on that. And today we're going to be finishing off this texture right here, and then we're going to be working on this texture right here, and then hopefully that will work out fine as well. Then we're gonna add up some colors, and then everything is gonna be looking pretty again. Well, at least that's what I'm gonna be doing. So yeah, that's what sums it all up. I mean, obviously, what also sums it up is that I actually successfully made some noodles soup, Saturday, and that's also very important because I never made it before and I can do it, so I'm happy. It's quite funny how noodle soup is actually quite easy to make. You just need to know the right things to do it. Like, for instance, you need to bake the chicken first and then scrape it out. So you rip it apart and then drop into the soup. And then, well, you technically use the grease of the chicken that you make from the pan and then use that as the soup pan, so that you have like natural bouillon. Yeah, I don't know how to call that one. It tastes like chicken. There you go. And then you add the vegetables to it, and then the noodles afterwards. Then some oyster sauce and some soda sauce, and then boom, easy. You have yourself some good old-fashioned noodle soup, which I'm actually amazed about because it's actually quite good. Yeah. Oh, what? Helper? Okay. I'll be right back. I need to help my mom emptying the things. I'll be right back. Wait, just 1 minute. Yeah, come on. Back. Jeez Louise. Alright, that happens. Alright, I'm back. Yeah, I need to help my mom with the milk. She brought milk with her on her trip, so the main problem is that she cannot carry a lot of heavy stuff, so that's why. Anyway, since we're back, don't mind me if I'm just working on this again. But yeah, I told you that it was 1 minute, and probably was 2 or 3. Well. Oh well, what you gonna do about it? So, how am I gonna do this? The idea here is that I'm gonna be working on this thing like there is no tomorrow, but that would cause me too much stress. So I'm gonna be just casually taking it easy, just putting in baby steps. Also, after this I'm gonna do some walking again because, it definitely helps. And, helping is important. Let's see. So I want to be doing it until here fill up. Yeah. Alright. The main issue here is that I need to make sure that I do it, filling it up, and then, draw this spot here perfectly. Because that's a thing that also needs to be done. And then once that is done, I will be able to get everything done. It's quite cool how this actually all looks already. I really like it. It really feels alive. All of this. So yeah, gotta make some curry tonight. Well, this week again because it needs to be done. Of course, you know this curry is not gonna be too spicy, apparently, because my mom cannot handle spice too much, and well, you know, spicy food is indeed very spicy. Yeah, I like it, and I don't mind it. It's actually one of my favorite things to eat. But yeah, able to make your own damn Eastern food, that is like a god sentence to myself, like, oh my god, I can make it. Oh, nice. And it's actually quite healthy. If you consider how much vegetables are in one food, that is actually quite fun. Because technically, if you want to have a healthy diet, you actually need to go for 2 times as much vegetables as meat, and then that is actually healthy. So if you have one meat, you need to have 2 vegetables, and then you know you can add some rice to it if you want to. And that's always how I see it, at least. So that's also what I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna use more green than meat. Of course, you know I'm gonna still use meat because meat is actually quite nice and is always lovely to have. And yeah. So anyway, around here, right here. That's good enough to fill it up. So how am I gonna do this? There you go. All right, awesome. So the idea is that I'm gonna be using this bad boy over here. Now, since that we have this sketch, I believe this is a sketch right here. This is a sketch. We're gonna perfect the sketch now, so that we are able to get the so that we actually can get this skin fully done. So the idea here is that we're making a sketch. So since that we want to make a sketch, we should technically lower this down to 50%. Yeah, around that, and then we can now draw the sketch on top of it. Wait, need to do this on 5. There you go. No, that's too much. There you go. And then go for here. Alright. Go over here and get this one done. So the idea here is that we're gonna draw these skills in. They don't have to be perfect, but they need to be, you know, visible, so that we can actually finish off the skin that we have left behind, and then also we need to add up a new texture to it, so that we have like multiple textures. So one of the textures is actually this one right here. As you can see, the one that has been drawn. So we need to have like these types of textures we need. Alright. So the idea here is that once this whole outlining is done, we then need to go to textures, make this thing look like like it is, what it is, and then after that we are done. So don't worry about that. Also, apparently we need to draw some more of these spikes, which I don't mind though. But we just need to make sure that we have done this first. Right. So the quick question is like how we are able to get the full get this skill effect to going. So that's the idea. So first we need to make sure that we have everything that we want, which is like over here. We need one, by the looks of it, right here. And right here one. Looks like we also need one here. Oh well. So now, since that we done the big, now we did the big boys. We now need to get the tiny boys as well. They're done. So are we gonna do that on a different layer? Yes, just in case. The main problem here is that we need to do this very easily. Once this is all done, you know, we need to add some more stuff to it. So, oh well. This ain't probably gonna be looking pretty right now, but sooner or later it will be. I also think I did overdo the outlines there. Nah, I didn't. I didn't do it. I didn't do it too much. As long as I just, you know, keep on with the casual outlining here, should be fine. Alright. It's quite interesting how much, you know, stuff is going on here. Oh. I see. Nah, my mistake. Oh well. Doesn't matter that much though. So that's good. It's quite funny how all these skills actually work in one go. Most likely, you know, those skills take a long time to get, but eventually, you know, once we're done with, you know, getting the texture on those little skills, I think everything will be fine. It just takes a long time to get it done properly, most likely. So yeah. So this thing over here. The main issue I always face with these. Wait a minute. Can I erase that like that? No, I can't. Alright, cool. That's on a different layer then. That's on the hair layer. Yeah. I remember that correctly. So now that we've done that. Oh, that looks more better. Now I can see stuff at least. Alright. Now we need to have a texture layer on top of this, and then we are good to go. Texturing is gonna be 3, yes, and we're gonna be first doing these things. These things here. So, the idea here is that we are creating this texture effect on the little skills, and hopefully, you know, that will work. Probably it will. I just hope that, you know, everything will be fine. Oh, I forgot to put some more lines on there. Oh well. Easy fixable. So, since we are going to go for that, what I'm here actually doing is, you know, placing just simple lines and then add them up bit by bit, and then, you know, keeping the outline a little bit less lessened, so you get this kind of effect. Would that work? Yeah, that would work. That would work, if I'm correct. On this one, on these skills, it would work. So these skills are more, you know, flattened. They're not so, they are big skills. So instead of, you know, those small skills that can grow anywhere, you know, these things are big. I should technically have, oh, I put it on the wrong layer, didn't I? I put it on the wrong layer, didn't I? No, I didn't. I did. Oh well. Oh well. Yeah. That's too much. Obviously. I did put this on the wrong layer. I knew it. I knew that I put this on the wrong layer. Let's see. So we don't want this effect actually. We don't want this fully there, because we want to actually implement that, you know, these skills are not everywhere where the other skill is. So this should be fine. Yes, this should be fine. So we don't want that to be everywhere. We want to be a lot, not everywhere. There you go. Now we go back here. And now we can do the texturing again. quite cool that these things are actually like that. Now is the only hope, like, you know, once we add the color to it, that it actually works properly, the texture that I'm creating right now. That's the idea, like, we are hoping that it is gonna be alright. Because I have no idea. Because that's how unexperienced I am with the texture if it comes to coloring it. I've never done it before, so it should be alright. Probably. So it's only like this. This is like how the texture goes, like very close together stripes and then go backwards to create the cross stripes. And then that effect, and then implement that effect around the whole damn skill. And that creates the effect that we want. We want to give this a scaly feeling to it, but we don't want to have the scaling the same feeling as the high texture, so that we are, you know, keeping the textures not fixed, but how do you say that? Keep them separated. Yes, separated. There you go. That's the idea. Of course, you know, the idea might be a little bit difficult to do, but it is actually possible to do so. And that's the idea. We are able to get, we don't want to have the same texture everywhere, because therefore, you know, the texture doesn't matter. And we don't want that. We want to make sure that the texture matters. Matters that it represents a different part of the drawing. Therefore, you know, it has different outlines, different rules, and different variables. So if I draw these lines, I want to make sure that I always have the effect on me. There you go. Of course, you know, this might not be looking quite, you know, the same as normal things, like, you know, I know that you know, the skills on this side are definitely different than these ones, which is good. I want them to represent something different. I want them to represent this kind of difference. So, how do they look in the eye of the gods? Let's see. They look good. The problem is with these. What's the problem with these? Let's see. They look good, but they don't look decent. There's something missing here. Something. What if I add a layer style to it? Let's see. I want to have a stroke pattern. Yes. No, not the stroke. I want to have it. I want to have a bevel culture texture on it. This. Alright, now we want... Now we don't want this at all. We want to have just, you know, the casual stroke, so I should add up some coloring. What happens here if I add this to it? Ah yes, the negative bullshit. How nice. How nice to add that to it. Of course I need to make sure that I put it below this. Yeah. So I have an idea of what I'm going to be doing here. Yeah, that's actually a quite cool effect. So we're going to give it like this kind of effect into it. Like the same effect here, but different. Yes, we're gonna follow the negatives here, not the positives. We're gonna follow the pattern that we are creating here, but with the outlines on it. Nice. Interesting. So if we're gonna go for this. Okay, you need to find there. Alright. Now we need to make sure that we see the other lines. So we need to grab some cool old-fashioned coloring and then switch it up to light mode so that we can see them. Now we can see the lights. Now we can see the lines, which is important. So if we're gonna go for this kind of texture, would that work? Would that work? That's the question. It looks like I forgot some lines here, but would this work? Yes, it would definitely work, especially on the skin. Yeah, that would work. That would work. I just need to make sure that I have this correctly painted. So I need to put a different color on this and then get started. All right, what kind of color do we want to represent the color so that we can see stuff what we drew? I believe this is a good color to go for, right? Red, just casual red, and then add up things later. Yeah. All right, cool. So, since we want to actually make sure that we have this underneath the line, yes, thank you. Now we're gonna be drawing it. All right. So how do we do that? We're gonna go for the negative, I guess. Would that even work? Would that even work like that? Since we want to have that, since we want to have these negative marks on it, this is too big. Yeah, this is too big. How do I do this? Come on, I can do this. I can do this. Oh, I have an idea. Hmm. Interesting. So if we're gonna go for that kind of approach, would that work? Probably it will. If we add that to it. Yeah, right. Alright. Just need to get everything back to black and blue then. Everything back to black once I'm done with this. It's quite cool how, you know, we're making you know, texture by, you know, not copying our homework, but you know, figuring out like, oh well, that's a spot, that's a spot, there is a spot, and there is a spot, and then, you know, add that up. Interesting. Hmm. It's quite funny how, you know, all of this just, you know, it's a copy work of this, but different. Because I'm using a different texture and therefore I'm using a different look to it? Probably. Probably. I just am like a little bit baffled here to see like what I'm doing here and then realize like, oh, well, that's a thing. And then I'm like, interesting. So yeah, I'm working here with textures that are unfinished, yes, true, but I'm trying to get a hold of it. I'm trying to get my better self in this. You know, that's supposed to go. And then I can find out like, oh well, I need this there, and then, you know, I can add some stuff here and there. Yeah, there you go. Sometimes it's hard to create textures, and therefore, you know, you need to have like a template or whatever you need. But I'm like, yes, true, but I'm working on I'm using the template to create the texture. I'm not using the texture to use it as a texture because it's either too realistic or it doesn't fit the drawing style I'm using. Because why would you limit yourself to a drawing style that somebody else is creating? Why don't you create your own style? Because that's way cooler. That's what all the cool kids do, right? I think. Probably. But yeah, creating your own style is a very important thing. And then finding out how to work around with your own drawing style is even a better thing. Because if you know how to work around with it, how to meddle with it, how to shape it into your own desires, then, you know, you're doing a great job. Because you're learning how to handle yourself with the drawing itself. So you're learning how to use your style. It's the same as, you know, you pick up a weapon and you know how to use it, and then you pick up a branch and you're really good with a branch, so you perfect yourself with the branch. And you're able to defeat anybody who wields anything else. Then yeah, you are perfected in you're not maybe not good with a sword, but you're good with a branch instead, and you should roll with it. You could still practice with a sword, but hey, if you're bad at using a branch, then well, congratulations upon that. Like, it doesn't matter how much or how many things you're doing right now. It matters only that you're learning your mistakes. You're learning from the past that you learned how to draw. Like, I couldn't draw for jack shit when I was a kid. I was 6 and I could not draw. Then around 7 or 8 I learned how to draw. By, reading books and seeing stuff and seeing dinosaurs. So that's the first time that's the first step towards victory. You start off small. You start off with a bomb. And then eventually, turns into a skull. And then eventually, the skull turns into horns. And eventually, you change up the eyes a little bit, you change up the eyes a little bit. And then, you add a mouth, you add some teeth. See, it all starts from somewhere. And eventually, you get better at it. I know that I could not draw for jack shit. I know that I could not draw. Then after some time, after a lot of, spare time, I always drew dinosaurs, and then, eventually, I was able to draw the dinosaurs. So it doesn't matter what you do or how you do it. It only matters that you're working on it. Working on your little improvements. And the more little improvements you make, the better you get at it. And the happier you will get at it. Because, you're making little improvements, therefore, you're improving yourself. And because you're improving yourself, you become a better person. In drawing. I think. Yes. And the learning process behind it is quite easy. You're either using trial and error or you're using basic logic. And, well, both can lead to very funny things. I must say myself, basic knowledge always lets you return to the safe spot of your own artwork. And trial and error actually brings you to new places that you were not before. And I know that, drawing and combining art styles with each other to create your own art style is a very important thing. That's what I did. I'm trying to improve my art style, therefore, I need to embrace things that are easier or, more difficult to do. And, well, improving on an old art style is actually quite funny, because, I know that this guy had not those spikes on the back. I know that. I also know that he had not this kind of skull. I know that as well. But I found it more suitable, so I drew it. I find it more suitable, and so I drew it. See what I did there? I found it more suitable. I found it more cool looking. I found it more, it looks better. It improves the looks. What? You cannot do that. You cannot do that on your old artwork. You cannot improve on the looks. Well, you can. It's very important. Because, different looks create different effects, and different effects are important to learn, because therefore, you can see and know what to do next. Like, I know that I might not be able to draw a full... I know that I might be not able to draw a full dragon if I ever had a chance, because, dragons are Pacific. But, if I do it multiple times, I will get some. I know that I could not draw the Morph project in one go, so I did it in bits. And, it's getting better and better at the time. Of course I can see my own mistakes in it. Of course I can see it. Of course I know what I need to do to fix those things. They might be little mistakes, but they are still mistakes. And those mistakes are easy avoidable. So yeah. little mistakes will get you somewhere. Trust me. Because the more you work on it, the better and harder you work on it, the more stuff you get from it. The more stuff you get from it, the better you are, and the more, you improve upon your art style. I don't know if I can draw a bird. I knew that I could draw a bird head a little bit. It looked like a fucking abomination first. And yeah, it gets better and better all the time. It just needs, time. And time is a thing that you always need to worship like a god. Because, time is a thing that brings things together or breaks things. And I am always like, oh my god, I don't have the time. Well, time to put a halt to it then. That's the idea. If you cannot make something in time, do step by step, and then follow up like, oh well, I cannot do it right now, but tomorrow, when I'm going back for it, I will be able to do it. So yeah, for instance, I always have a problem that when I work on these types of things, the main issue I always face is like, well, look at that, I did it, I successfully did it, and then I realized like, oh well, something went off, something is off, and I of course don't know what it is. So how do you fix that? Well, you figure it out by taking a break from it and then, come back later. Because then you have a fresh face and you have like different mindsets in mind, and then you see the mistake again and be like, wait a minute, did I not do this, or this before? Maybe this and this and this will fix it. You implement the changes, you see if the implementing changes suit you. Therefore, your mistake is fixed. Even though it might be a tiny mistake, it's still a mistake. And if you fix the mistake, of course in the blind eye it won't be seen, but according to you it will. And sometimes that's also important. You want to improve upon yourself, well then fix the thing that you don't like and see how it goes. If the change is too drastic or doesn't fit with, the art style that you're currently using, then don't use it. But you can remember it, because that's also important. Remember it for later on. So once your art style has been improved. Therefore, it's always important that if you see a mistake you made, and you want to implement changes upon those, you can always try to do it, and then hopefully, it will be, able to be fixed. So now that we've done that, I hope everybody is happy. I hope. Yes, I am, at least. I'm quite heavily motivated right now. It comes because of the amount of stuff I left behind once I was down. Because I was really down. I was not in the mood of doing anything. I had like a very annoying stomach. I had pain everywhere. Because, well, bad news always comes in threes. And bad news is a thing that you don't want. And then, eventually, the bad news turned into good news, and that is good. It always takes a long time to get good news across. And I'm happy right now. I'm like, very happy that, the bad news is past and it's gone. Well, it's not gone, but it is gone for now. It is gone. And yeah, if you have bad news that bothers you constantly in your mind, then, well, you cannot work. And that's why my absence was there. I can't work when under pressure. No, not under pressure, but I cannot work when I'm fully stressed out. It's like a big giant no-go. It's like, oh well, now I'm tired forever. That's how my mind reacts to stress. It's a little bit wonky. So now what? Well, I'm trying to go back into my old rhythm. Do the working, working on this morning drawing, and then after after the morning drawing, go away, do a walk of 6 miles, come back again, and say hello. And then, at nighttime I will be able to do the Morph project again. So that's what my plan is. And if everything works fine, I will get a job in no time, and then, I will be able to go to work. And then I need to change up my schedule a little bit, and then, maybe after then I will only be able to do this on Sunday or Saturday, because, work is also important, and it is really helpful. After all, these are just, merely recordings for me to also remember. These are recordings that give me like insight in what I do and how I do it. So I can see mistakes in my own artwork, or I can see mistakes in the drawings I did. So like, oh, I should not have done this, or oh, I should not have done that, or oh, I shouldn't have done this. It creates this effect that, really helps me progress most of the things that you cannot see while you're doing your drawings. Like, for instance, art style is a thing that is very difficult to see if it improves. If you have a unique art style, it is very hard to see the improvement upon it. Especially once you're not like in the early stages of your drawing. So yeah, I can now see like what I did, or how I do it, or how I did the process, and how fast I did it, and that's also important. Being able to detect mistakes, be able to be critical about your own drawings. That's what I'm doing here. It's like a little library of me just doing the drawings and babbling on about pretty much anything. If I want to talk about ice cream, yeah, I can do it. Did you know, by the way, that ice cream is actually quite good? Yeah, I always prefer the banana flavor. I don't know why, but it tastes always like it's really good banana. That's why I always like the Italian ice cream the most. I believe that's one. Yeah, banana flavor is like one of my favorite because of the taste of banana inside of it is always very rich. I don't know why it is, but I believe that banana flavor is one of the easiest flavors to detect in ice cream, because it has such a unique flavor to it. You know exactly if you taste banana. It's like, oh well, that's banana. Also, one of my favorite tastes also for Italian ice cream is melon. Yeah, melon is one of my favorite as well. I don't know why. I don't know why melon is one of my favorites, but I really like melons. Somehow I really like melons. Especially the honey ones. The honey and the watermelon are my favorite upon those. But yeah, figuring out the amount of mistakes I made, being critical about my own designs, being like, I don't like this or I don't like that, and then improve it later on. That's how you fix stuff. You want to improve upon your drawings, then go draw and then be critical about your drawing. Be like, is that a man? You did not draw a man? How dare you? That looks more like a horse to me. And then you are like, yes, you're right. You're right. That doesn't look like a person at all. That looks more like a horse. And then you realize like, maybe you should have drawn a horse then. And then the other person's like, yes, you should. And then you draw the horse and you look like, oh well, that looks horrible. And then you improve upon the horse until it looks like a bloody damn horse. And then you win the races with the horse. And then you get the money with the horse. And then I guess then you're how do you say that one? A good bettor. Yes, a good bettor. I don't know if that is a thing, but yeah. That's how you win races. You draw horses. And then you figure out which one is going to be winning, and then you bet on that one. Apparently that's a terrible advice, but hey, that's just my thought upon how you improve upon your drawings. Apparently, you need to draw horses and win bets, but there, with the horses, of course. So yeah, So yeah, listen to your own damn things that you come across. If you deal with, you know, multiple things like at once, you get overflown, and therefore, you know, things might not end up in the wrong on the right side. So how we do fix that? Well, we fix that by, you know, seeing the mistakes that we made in the past and then, you know, implementing the changes upon it. Like for instance, I know that I had to do something. I know that I had to do something with these skills, but because this, you know, skin is a really nasty little thing. This one here, right here. Not now. Thank you. All right. Jesus, my head was totally spinning right now. So yeah, to fix those changes, you need to make sure that you have like, oh well, how do you say that? If you need to fix the changes, you need to find out what the problems were. Yes, and that's where this comes so much in handy. This is why this is so handy dandy. I always have problems with this because I don't figure out where my mistakes lie. And to be more critical about myself, I need to figure it out, and therefore I need to watch my videos. I don't always have to do that, but you know, if I want to find a crucial mistake I made back in the day, like why did it take me so long to get this thing from point A to point B? And then it's like, oh, yes. Yes. Also, for instance, did you know that there are books that teach you how to draw? Yes, I know. Quite fascinating. I have one of those books at home. It's a pseudo-realistic drawing book. It's like, you know, you want to draw a car? Well, here you go, kid. Now you can draw a car. You know, that kind of approach. But you can only draw the car in one specific direction, otherwise the book doesn't work. It's like, thanks. So yeah, the book is very helpful to teach you how to get the steps done, how to get the steps done, but it doesn't teach you how to do the other perspectives of a car or a certain type of object. So you're only stuck with one way of how to draw it, which could be a very problematic effect, because if you want to learn how to draw, you normally want to also want to learn how to draw it in multiple directions. So what you could then do is actually teach yourself how to do it by following the same procedures, but, you know, at a different angle. And that's a thing that you can do. Therefore, you know, that is also experience. That is indeed a learning experience. You know that things go not as planned, then well, you fix them. If you see stuff that happens and you realize like, oh well, that didn't went according to plan, and well, you know, you fix it. All right, let's turn this back into black, and then, you know, we see things. So we need to remove this one right now. Then we're gonna add some. We're gonna add this one again, and we're gonna switch it to dark black. We're gonna put on alpha. We're gonna give this bad boy some looks. We can see what happens. We can see what happened. So that's how it looks now. Then we're also gonna do that on this one. No, on this one. Yes, on this one. All right, cool. Now we can see like what did we do? Well, we did add some textures to it, it seems. Yes, we did. Do the textures look normal? Well, they do look different. Yes, they do look different, but they are decent. So they are worthy. They are worthy to use. Yes, they are worthy to use, but I need to add some more, you know, detail to it after, you know, adding some stuff. So what we're gonna be doing now is we're adding some more, you know, details to the lineup. And hopefully, we're adding up the little gaps that we have been leaving behind, which we are going to be able to fix now. So, there you go. Alright, cool. Now that we've done that, we want to add some color to this. So we have now completed the whole damn thing of, well, oh wait, we didn't do it fully. Ah, shameful. Shameful display of skills. Get it? There are skills. Oh well. No need to be hurrying here. Just casually go on with whatever I was doing in the first place. I know, eventually I will get to it. Alright, cool. So the main idea here is that we are able to get this from, we're gonna get this from this to there. That's the idea. How are we gonna do that? Well, first things first, we need to make sure that we have everything under control. So, let's see. We are now 1 hour in. And we're gonna use colors to get to from point A to point B, which is correct. So let's try this. Alright, let's try it. Colors. We want this to be in a different group. We want this to be in quick group 1. This is the, yes. We want this to be in a group with this. Right, yes, with this, and then this one. Yeah, this one, yeah. We want them all to be in a group. And then we also want in now a new layer. A new paint layer, yes. Alright, so first things first, we want to have like the actual skin color again, so don't mind me if I'm gonna be doing this again. We're grabbing the colors, there you go. Grabbing the sweetest colors, grabbing the colors, and then, use this again. So this is the first color that we're gonna go for. And you can already see what I'm gonna be doing here. Alright, so this is the color that we normally use for the skin. Since that we want to let this stand out from the original skin, so from this skin right here, we want to let that stand out. So how do we do that? Well, we can actually go for, oh, let's see. This needs to be also there then. Yeah. This needs to be above it. There you go. Now I can draw over this as well. Oh no, I can't. What? Oh, wait. One, two, three, 4. So that since that we want this skin to be over here as well as over there, so we want this skin to represent this one right here. So yeah, Now we're gonna add some more color to it as well, because we want to have the skin color with the light color. We're gonna zoom in to get the light color as well. And we're gonna add some less. Alright, grab the blending tool. Alright, cool. Now that we've done that, we now have the color that we want. We have now the color that we need. That is this color. Now we need a new color as well. So we need now to get something over here that makes this more unique. How do we do that? Let's see. So since that we are using this color right here, we actually want to go for something more orange, I believe, and then go for something more reddish orange, like this, maybe? Do we want that? Do we want to have like this kind of skin towards it? No, we don't. We don't. No, we don't. Do we want to go for the same kind of texture effect like these things? Do we want that? Do we want these things to have the same approach as these? Do we want that? Do we want this kind of approach? So that we are using the same color. Do we want that? No. Maybe. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. Well, looks like we could do it. We could. We definitely could. Now the quick question is, should we? Maybe. Also, you see that I drew a little bit too much here. I should actually have removed this part here. Oh well, I will do that later. So, if we're gonna go for that kind of approach, we have this kind of approach then. If we have that, how does that fix things? How does that make things look? It does not create a quite good skin effect, so we're not supposed to go for it then. Yes, we're not supposed to go for it. What if we're gonna go for this kind of approach? Reddish. So we're gonna go for more reddish approach. So dark red. Would that work? No. That won't. What if we're gonna go for brown? I said brown, not red. Jeez, that's still red. I said brown, you dumb. That's green. Why is that green? This is not green, this is brown. Thank you. What if we're gonna go for brown? Would that work? But then we need to also darken it up, so it is indeed brown. What happens if we're gonna go for that kind of approach? Would that work? No, not in the color scheme as well. So, think. I can do this. I can do this. Because brown does not work and orange does work, but it does make it look a little bit silly. Book guide me. Alright, let me take a look at this. Why am I doing this? Well, we're looking for something very important here. This is a book about dinosaurs, so we should be able to be fine figuring things out. Alright, so we have the skills on the neck part. Yes? Yes, we do. How do they implement the skin on the back part? Alright, the skin on the top part is more darkened than the skin on the back part. So it is still red, but darker red. In most cases. Alright. Now it's a quick question. How are we implementing that? So most of these skills are just freckles. Yes. But we're going for rough skills. Alright, how do we do that? Interesting. So we should then go for something like dark reddish effect. So yes, freckles, check. And then we need to go for something darker. So we need to go for this kind of approach then. Yes. But we don't need to go for one color though. But we need to color it all. That's the first part of this drawing. Alright, now we done that. Now we're gonna add some stuff. So are we gonna do this in one go? Yes, we need to do this in one go. This is all need to be in one layer. Alright, I can do this. So we have the color right here. So I'm gonna put that color right over here. So I won't forget it. Yes. Now we're gonna go for something lighter. So we're gonna go for this. And now we're gonna go for something medium. This. So we have this, and we have this. Alright, cool. First things, we need this one. Oh boy, this is gonna be a pain in the ass to draw, isn't it? Yep, it is. Lovely. My favorite kind of things. So, do we need to have this one? No, we don't. We actually need to go for this one instead. Alright, so we have the coloring on these things. So, we're gonna go for freckle approach. So, freckle, freckle, freckle. And why do we go for this kind of approach? Because according to the book, it is really effective to represent skin on top of the first layer. So yeah, we're gonna go for that. Of course, you know, it's gonna be a pain in the ass to draw though. So yeah. And that's indeed a problem. Alright. So, I'm just gonna be taking my time here to draw the freckles. And then we also need to implement some more lighting parts. So this is like, you know, the casual freckle part, and then, you know, we need to even lighting it up. Oh boy. Why did I do this? I have no idea. I just hope that this is gonna be working out well. So how are we gonna deal with, well, you know, we're just gonna be drawing freckles everywhere. Well, they're not technically considered freckles, they're just tiny little skin pieces that are shining, you know. Little skills that are shining in the dark. That's what we're gonna be trying to create. Also, we supposed to be saving here because we actually did a lot of work already. Save! Oh, alright. Now I can continue. So the main idea here is that, you know, we are working on this, and then hopefully, you know, we are able to get to everywhere we want. So let me just take a look at it. Timer. 70 minutes yet. Oh, then. Oh. 40 minutes. 33 minutes left before we are able to before we stop. So it's all good. I think we are able to get this freckle part done in no time. And why are we doing this? To get to point A, from point A to point B. Because we want to represent these things as skills, we don't want to represent them as stupid as, casual things, like, I don't know, simple skills. We don't want that. No, we want them to represent skills that are on the back. And those skills normally have these differences between them. I should put this just on hold. Hold on. I need to go on the away button. What? Alright. Done. Had to type something. A friend of mine was asking, do you want to play a game? And I'm like, yes, after an hour. Then yes, I will play a game. And then I do the walk. Because according to my mom, I need to wait until, until the food arrives from my doggo. So, yeah. So, yeah, this is some good old business, This is the old-fashioned go happy, go lucky thing, We are working on this big giant working machine of a work, and it's working. We're working on it, and it's working. The skills are looking quite well. The freckles are looking quite well. And we're lighting up this place. We're lighting up this whole damn thing. As you can see, that's more like it. Yeah, that's more like it. Definitely more like it. Of course, these things are terrible look. These things are out of place too much, and we need to fix that. We need to fix this big boy here. We need to fix up. We also need to fix up the big boy Steves. So yeah, gonna fix that as well. So gonna do that later, because first we need to do this. Alright. Maybe I should not have drawn this too big on the outlines. Oh well. I'll fix it. I'll get the lines of these outlines here less thick. Trust me, I can do that. That's easy doable. This is actually quite cool. It's actually quite cool to see this effect in progress, just seeing like, yeah, what you're doing? Well, I'm just drawing freckles all over the place. Just lining up this bitch. And it's like, oh my god, that's cool. And I'm like, yeah, it is cool. Though these things look a little bit out of place, and they are looking a little bit too thick. So we're gonna lower that down soon, so that they are looking less thick. So, and also they're missing texture, so they are standing out to the max, and we don't want that. We don't want these things to stand out. So yeah, they also need a texture. And to get to that texture, we need to make sure that we well, finish off this first. And we're just gonna take our time, because we're not in a hurry at all. We're not in a hurry. We want to fix this. We want this drawing to be done, yes, but we're not in a hurry, because if you rush things, they will turn bad really quickly. A bad apple is not as great as a rotten one, but a rotten one always stays bad. A bad apple is bad until it gets rotten, and if you do that too much, you know, you get really bad apples. You get really rotten apples indeed. So that's why I'm actually always holding myself back, like, do I want to rush this? I'm like, no, no, just don't. For the love of the gods, don't do it. Don't do it at all. So yeah, we're just casually doing this. Interesting. So how do we do this? How do we get to from point A to point B? That's the question. Interesting. So it seems that it is actually quite working well. Nice. There you go. And this how am I gonna do it? Nice. Let me just take a look at the timer. Look at that, 50 minutes. Great, that's actually quite improvement. I like it. 50 minutes of work just by pressing one simple color at a time. I should recommend saving. Yep, saving it is. Oh wow, 3.9 gig already. Jeez Louise. Ugh. Yeah, that's the drawing for you. Oh hell. I hate that when that happens. When things go a little bit too big. No, 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 no. I will not allow this to happen. Screw you. That's why I have that thing right now. See, I learned. I already learned that I am always need to have the color at hand, so that if you know when I press accidentally this button right here, I don't get screwed over. And that's how you do it. You learn and you learn and you learn and you adapt and you overcome your problems. Sometimes life gives you lemons, you just fucking make lemonade. And then sell the lemonade to other people. And they like it. Because technically lemon juice is very profitable. You remove scurvy, you don't, you know, get pain in your belly, you don't bleed. Nope. Nothing at all. Vitamin C, one of the most important things at sea. That's why they call it vitamin C, I think. Because it's C. Yeah, wordy. Vitamin C. Yeah, I think that's why they call it actually that. Because it sounds like this because it's used on sea. Or they call it vitamin C because of the sea? Probably it's because of Latin, but hey, you know, Latin is a dead language. Why? Because it can no longer be because it can no longer improve. That's why it's a dead language. That's the funny part about Latin. It's always fixed. There are no variables. There are no new words. It's only he, she, it. You know? It's only those things. It's only words that there are. Latin. If you want to pronounce something in Latin, well, you know, you're not gonna have different words. You're just gonna use those words that you already have. There are no new words. And that's when a language becomes a dead language, if you don't have new pronunciations or anything else on the improvement upon the language. Which is quite good, because you know, a dead language is still a good language. That's why I like Latin so much, because it's actually a scientific language. It's one of the languages that are really, really, really helpful when it comes to things explaining, because technically if you go for the if you learn Latin, you can actually see the different pronunciations, and also you can see why and how the words are formed. So if you have a hippopotamus, you know, a hippo, it actually spells in Latin, it spells a river horse. What? A river horse? Yes, a river horse. How the hell is a big giant meat-eating how is a no, it's not a meat eater. It's actually a vegetarian, which is fucking weird because it actually murders people. Because it's high territorial and high on testosterone. But you know, then that's just, you know, casual business. But yeah, it's called a river horse because apparently hippos look like horses that are on rivers. Somebody told like, hey, you know what? I like to call it a river horse, and everybody's like, yeah, sure thing, mate. Do that. I'm gonna call this big giant pig a river horse. Yeah. I don't know if actually if a hippo is actually related to warthogs. I think it is. I think they are. Well, they look like it. They both have the freckle parts, and they both have the facial recognition, so yeah, they should be actually just, you know, river pigs instead of river horses, but they don't do anything that that makes horse sound, so if a zebra would live in the water, then yes, you could call it a river horse, but not that. No, not a hippo. I refuse that that's a good word for it. But yeah. Let's see which one is also a good one to say. Oh yes, a dinosaur. Technically, dinosaurians mean actually terrible lizard. So a very scary lizard. Which, you know, technically dinosaurs are big giant lizards, so yeah, it is very scary to see those if they were alive. So yeah, that's why Latin is actually correct. Also, in Latin you can see like what the function is of the name, most likely. That's actually quite a funny part about Latin, that it actually gives you a function like, oh well, because this is a river horse, I am assuming it. That's an amphibious creature. Is that correct? Yes. And so that's why it actually is very helpful to have names in Latin. Because, you know, it gives functions and it tells you exactly what it does. Most likely. It's either venomous, or it is highly productive or invasive species, or highly adaptive, or, you know, casual lungfish, you know, just, you know, able to breathe air as well as water. Did you know, by the way, that lungfishes are very adaptive? And one of the funny thing is, there are also other fish that also have lungs that are not considered lungfish. I know, very spooky. The Impera, for instance, it can breathe air and it can breathe water. What? What is the Impera? Well, that's an invasive species in the Amazon that actually is the major cause of causing piranhas to be highly more aggressive towards other creatures in the water because they want to survive. If an Impera actually comes in contact with piranhas, they most likely eat them, which causes the piranhas to be more active because they want to survive. So they will produce and they need to produce. So therefore, you know, if something falls into the water, they will attack. Technically, that would not be allowed because technically piranhas are less hyperactive or less aggressive in the water than are less aggressive normally because of the because technically they are afraid of their own shadows. They only go into they only attack weakened creatures, so creatures that are either, you know, bleeding or they are they fell into the water and they, you know, no, they make this same thing as, you know, a weakened seal, you know, in the water, and the shark sense the motion of, you know, panic, because that's a thing that can happen, you know, the electromagnetic field that causes the effect. It's a little bit difficult to explain, but yeah, piranhas sense fear, and they work around that with that. They actually, you know, attack weakened creatures that are, you know, drowning or whatever, and they eat them alive. That's normally what a piranha does. They kill creatures that are, you know, either corpses or, you know, creatures that are, you know, struggling to be alive or are wounded. Then they just come in and kill them. But because the piranha, because the impara, if I'm correct, that's the one that I'm calling to. I believe that's the word. It's an ancient fish, I believe. Yes, the impara is an ancient fish. It has lungs, it has gills, and it can walk on land and then just be like, oh well, I just eat all the fish in this place. Don't mind me if I do. I'm just gonna be walking right over there. And yeah, that's a problem because it's a very invasive It's a very invasive species. It can, you know, it has no enemy except another impara. Oh, yeah, impara. And it's a very old creature. I believe it is actually as old as the crocodiles. So yeah, it's a very old species. It's a big old scary boogaloo guy. If you have that thing in your waters, good luck with your fish because they're all gonna be dead in a month. So yeah, piranhas are highly productive creatures. So they produce really fast bird. They have a really fast birth rate, and they also eat in packs. The main thing that why they go in packs is because they don't want to be attacked by big creatures. But the impara is as tough as an alligator, so you know it's a fish that has skills of an alligator, so you know those teeth won't work. Problem, yes, problem indeed. So because they are, you know, because they are threatened by their lives, they are like, you know what? We need to produce more. Therefore, we need more energy. Therefore, we need to murder, and that's the problem. So according to documents I have seen on Natural Geographic, if I'm correct, yes, on Natural Geographic it was, they actually attacked villages into villages. They attacked villages that were just fishing or swimming, you know, and they were just attacked alive. So a person who just was casually, you know, diving into the water, just looking for something or whatever, you know, grabbing his contraption that he was just, you know, getting his crab off, and you know, those piranhas just attacked him and killed him alive. And yeah, that happens when, and then everybody's like, what? That's not supposed to be happening with those piranhas. I know that they are scary, but they are not supposed to attack people. Yes, they're not supposed to attack people, but they do. How? Because they need more energy. They need to survive. So they become more aggressive. So if you have, they even attack horses then. Yes, they technically attack horses that are just trying to cross a river because it's meat. It's a thing that they can produce for eggs. It's energy. Because they are highly threatened, and that's a big issue in the Amazonian River. That if an impara goes into the territory of piranhas, they most likely be more highly aggressive towards anything that moves in the water, and will eat anything because they want to survive. and then the whole fucking ecosystem goes to fucking smithereens because this emperor is just like, I just want to have food. And those piranhas are like, yeah, I need food too. I will survive. I will eat anything that now crosses this water. It's like, oh boy. And it's not like, the emperor is gonna be leaving anyway soon, because he is like the head predator. He's just like, I'm just sitting here and eating until, the pond is gone. Until nothing is left in this fucking pond. And that's most likely the problem that is occurring. So yeah, it's quite interesting that such an investigation can happen. They realize like, oh shit, these piranhas are the ones that actually murdered this person. But then it's like, how? Why? Because apparently they got threatened. Because they were fighting for their lives. And apparently that fish is highly brutal when it comes to fighting for their lives, because they actually, attack anything on sight. Because they just want to keep up they want to keep up their breed, because they want to fight in packs. So yeah, don't ever dive into a river without knowing what the hell is swimming underneath there. So yeah, you technically should fear piranhas. They might look like, casual fish to you with big giant teeth, but no, they are actually highly dangerous if threatened. And that's actually quite funny to see that, such creatures are, Hey, I did it. I did it, right? Yeah, I did it. No, I did not fully done it. Nope. I did do it though. Alright. Cool. No, wait. Something was here missing yet. There you go. Alright. Now. Now, to make sure that I have everything under control here, I will get... Boop, 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 boop. I will get now the next color in. Yes. And then it should be fine. Alright, so yeah, the Amazon does have its dangers. It's not only the fucking crocodiles or the snakes, it's also, just tiny little fish that are, desperate on eating stuff. Which I'm actually quite amazed by, like, oh, well, just tiny little fish that are actually able to kill a horse. Well, that's a problem. Yeah, that's why you'd never set foot into a infested piranha pool with only piranhas, or having a pool that has actually been terrorized by an impera, which causes the piranhas to be aggressive. It's quite funny how an impera, casual alligator, casual fish that looks like a ancient crocodile fish, like a scaly fish. It looks like a scaly fish with a terrible. Well, that's actually quite good, decent fins. It actually has one on the back. It has actually a triple fin on the tail, if I'm correct. So yeah, but yeah, it can walk on land. It can swim on water. It can breathe air. Yeah, that thing is a highly survivable creature. It doesn't die. It just doesn't die. Especially if you have like a very moist area, it doesn't even dehydrate, so it can just, casually like, I'm gonna just walk around here and just find some food. Which is quite amazing, but yeah. So, yeah. Fish. Fish. It's quite funny how fish are like also very high variety of fish. You have different types of fish. And all the types of fish have their own purposes and needs. And that's why it's actually quite fun to see that, if you ever want to have a scary story, well, just look up the bull shark. That guy is no fucking joke. That thing is fucking bullshit. It's like, Well, you know that sharks live in the ocean, right? Yeah. Well, this thing lives in the river as well. It's like, ah, thanks. I can swim happily after now that I know that there is a shark that is able to go into fresh water. It's like, ah, ha, ha, ha. Thank you for telling me this knowledge. Yeah, a fucking shark that is able to surpass to produce their own salt in their in their kidney, or no, in their liver even. I believe it is the liver, not the kidney. But yeah, this thing has a special organ that causes it to be able to produce salt. So yeah, it can survive in fresh water. Normally, fish die in fresh water if they are only able to breathe in salt water because they cannot because they cannot produce the salt, because they need the salt for their body. And well, this shark can just casually go into the Amazon River and eat anything that he likes. It's like, yeah, I'm just a shark who eats alligators for breakfast. Nothing to worry about, just a casual shark. It's like, huh, thanks. So yeah, bull sharks are very good predators. They, I believe they breed in the salt water and they feed in the fresh water at summer times. I believe that was it. Yeah. Or when they are low on, when the resources nearby are low, they just go into the freshwater zones and be like, oh well, don't mind me, I'm just gonna have here a little snack. Which is actually quite amazing to see. Like, yeah, you have these big giant white sharks and say like, yeah, they don't exist in the river, and then you see like this bull shark who's like 2 meters, I believe, 2 meters, 3 meters long. It's like, yeah, there is a shark in the water. It's like, huh, I didn't see any sharks back in my home being able to cross rivers. Yeah, those things can just be casually in rivers in the Amazon. So yeah, it's a very spooky world when you are seeing. You know that there are sharks. You know that there are piranhas. There are there are crocodilian alligators, I believe. Yeah, caiman, right? No, alligators. Alligators, I believe. Yeah, no, I don't know. It's just crocs. Let's put it on crocs. Fuck it, crocs. Yeah. Crocs, piranhas, bull sharks, big giant constrictor snakes, the largest kind of the world, anacondas. So also that thing can swim. So have fun with that as well. So yeah, it's a very fun world when you realize like, yeah, all the things that are not likable in water are just all the things that you don't want to have in the water. You just go to the Amazon and you find them all. Like, huh, you want to have sharks in your water, in your fresh water? Well, here you go. That's no fun. Of course, that's not the only thing. You also have jaguars and all that stuff. So nothing to worry about that much. Just casual jaguars and casual cats living in the Amazon. It's not that much of a problem. But yeah, so I believe I did everything. No, I forgot something here. Oh well, I'll do that as well. So yeah, the whole damn Amazon is a fun playground for amphibian creatures, which is actually quite fun to see that, because it's such a wet place. It has so many amphibian creatures that it's like really well designed for it. That's why they actually thrive. Because you have otters, you have giant otters, you have capybaras. So they're all adaptable to they all are adaptable to the they're all adaptable to the wet seasons of the Amazonian and the high rivers they need to cross. Then you also have just wild boars who are
you know, just casually eating roots and all that stuff, which, you know, are just, you know, outside the water place. But they are very adaptable because they are also just casual pigs. And pigs, you know, casual pigs can produce really well, and they, you know, use burrows and all that stuff. So yeah. And they are hairy, so they don't give a shit about rainy seasons. So yeah. Alright. Cool. I believe that is it for today, right? Yep. Awesome. Alright, let me just get rid of all the color right now. But yeah, this is that's at least what I learned. That the Amazon, if you ever want to live in a wet place, you need to be amphibian. You need to be amphibious, so you need to be able to cross rivers and all that stuff to get to the resources you want quicker than anybody else. Or you need to live up high, which is also a thing. Apparently, you know, there are creatures that are adaptable on high grounds, low grounds, and all that stuff. You have birds that chase the skies. You have animals that just live on the ground. You have animals that live on the in the air, and all that stuff. And that's actually quite cool to see evolution be like, yeah, I want to do this, and then it's like, yeah, you can do that. And that makes evolution so cool because, you know, you can see different species doing different things. All right. So now that we've done that, let me just take a look at this. That looks nice. That looks good. That looks really, 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 really well done. Nice. Sorry. Haha. All right. Oh my god. Yikes. And now I know it's summer. Jeez Louise. Alright, I think that's it for today. And don't mind me if I'm just gonna be casually zooming out for you. Yeah, that looks cool. That looks cool. Alright. And I'm gonna be just casually putting it back up. Like that. How nice. How nice, how nice indeed. Alright. So, yeah. We're gonna next time we're gonna be able to get textures on these things, and then hopefully, you know, we can also lower down the size of the drawing a little bit on those things. But yeah, I need to lighten those things up, I believe. Yes, I do. I need to add some different kind of texture to that makes it more unique. All right. I think that's it for today. Um, I hope I'll see you all next time. Until then, I wish you all a lovely day, and bye!